Hi, I'm Mark, and this is my journey through tarot. Come on. So it's going to be a long list today. Actually, I have a list, as a matter of fact. So I want to talk about the Trump parade. What was up with that? What did he expect? Did it jar anyone? And then Canada has. They are just telling it exactly like it is. If you've seen any videos from the Canada government, Germany, France, Ukraine. The Eurozone and Ukraine, I'd like to know how they're reacting to this America under Trump. And anti-immigration. So whole families are being swept up. I mean, they're not going to looking for criminals. They're just destroying people's lives. Marco Rubio, actually, I believe it was his father who immigrated here, or perhaps his grandfather, but I think it was his father who immigrated here. And that's the whole reason why Marco Rubio is American. So this is some interesting topics, I think. So I hope you like the video. If you like the video, please do like the video. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And thank you very much for watching. So we'll jump right into it. I'm going to use this Templar tarot called The Journey, and it's a really cool deck. You can see at the end of the video, I'll tell you more about it and show you most of the cards in here. But it's a huge deck, and the only thing I don't like about this arrangement is that you have to dump the cards out of the box like you see me doing here. There's no elegant way of getting this undone. And I haven't used these cards for quite a while, so it'll be taking me a minute to reacquaint myself with the depictions. Hope you don't mind. It's kind of cool. I mean, it looks like a book if you look at it. I'll tell you about it more at the end of the video. I've got to remember if these are up or down, or okay, so that's up. This is correct. So this came from here, and then I think I've got some extra cards in this little stack here because I have them arranged separately for some reason. Oh boy, if I don't remember what the reason is, that's not good. That's it. Yep, these are them. Cross, obligation, betrayal, tragedy, discipline. And I'm reading up here to kind of remember what's going on here. I think these are all the kind of extra cards that come with this deck. And I'm not going to use them, but I am going to quickly count the remaining cards to make sure that I have the appropriate number of cards. Looks like this is a major, and it looks like this might be minor. So hang in there with me. Maybe it'll be interesting for you to see the cards as we go through them. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 6, 7, 7, 78. And let me look at those faces real quickly and kind of get familiar with these cards again. So we're not doing it for you on the video. What have you got to do? You're watching me. So all those questions I want to talk about. So the Trump parade, what in the world, how does that not look authoritarian to someone, or maybe it just doesn't matter? So we'll go through all those questions in the Canada, Germany, France, Ukraine, maybe all as a group, maybe Europe and Ukraine all as a group, anti-immigration, what's going on with that, Marco Rubio, whose ancestors immigrated here much the same way that all these folks are doing, and hit some legal snags along the way too. So all of that, but before we do any of that, let's take just a moment, for meditation. A little bit longer meditation, I think, than I usually have. So right off the bat, Trump parade. Did he not see that as an authoritarian trademark, symbol, move? 3 cards only. Did he not see it that way? 3 cards, Trump. Did he not see the authoritarianism of that? So we get the 8 of Wands here. And the 8 of Wands is typically this is the 4 of Wands. Okay, a smaller celebration onto something larger. Wands are actions, plans, forward movement. The 4 of Wands is almost seems like maybe the bridal card, wedding card, or maybe the party before the wedding. But yeah, this is celebrating something before moving on to something even bigger. Wow. Did he see it as an authoritarian move? Yeah. And then the next card after that is the 5 of Cups. So 5 of Cups, very interesting. Can you see the cups right down here? They got 3 spilled over, 2 remaining. This person is so, devastated over what's going on. She's in this canyon, almost this arroyo, it looks like, just weeping over what she's lost, not remembering that she's got something to go on with. And she seems to be at danger from this water coming down this canyon, this arroyo, and filling up and drowning her if she doesn't get on her feet. So did he see it as that? And this almost seems like us. Like we better get up and realize what's going on before the dam breaks. And then the final thing here is Temperance. How interesting. Major Arcana card. And Temperance is standing on top of all these books of knowledge right here, and with this really almost magical veil, and really trying to come to some sort of a block of one thing to let another thing. So yeah, he did see it as that way. We have to wake up and get busy, and we can temper this. Oof. Wow. Trump parade. Did the military in general feel alerted by this? That's a big ask, I mean, for a big group of very different people. But did the military, let's just say the top military, did they feel, it seems like they did just the bare minimum of what they could get away with. Did the military feel twinge about this parade in general? More than not. There might have been a few who were great for it, but I would say the majority of the top. How did they feel about that parade? Chariot. Things moving on quickly. Look at this. This is a warrior almost. He's holding up his scythe. He's ready to fight. He's charging into battle. The Chariot. So this all seems like military to me, charging into battle. Perhaps that was the military charging into battle with as little as they could get away with. Next card up for this is the King of Swords. King of Swords. Truth, justice, rules, and law, and holding the scales of justice. This is the military. This is the military. The next card up is the Sun card. So the Sun, I mean, if you look at this card very carefully, you can see Christ hanging on a cross in the background very faintly. And so this imp is learning from a book of knowledge right here. The Sun card, shining a light, book of knowledge, someone who would die for others. Yeah. They're studying the books to making sure that whatever he asks them to do is not beyond what they can legally do, and maybe in sometimes is as little as they can legally do. They're on the alert. The military is on the alert. Let's go jump over to Ukraine, but coupled with the ideas of the what used to be our allies in Europe and above us, Canada, Germany, France, Spain, England, those countries that we considered our allies, and they're realizing now that they have to just move on without the United States and fill the gaps in wherever that is. If it's militarily, if it's for aid, for many different things, not just Ukraine. And Ukraine too has to realize that, look, they're not getting what they need from the United States. Continue to beg and maneuver for what they can get, because every little bit matters. So let's do 4 cards on kind of the Eurozone plus Ukraine with Trump. 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the countries that used to be friends of ours in Ukraine and Trump. First card up, 4 cards. First we get the 4 of Pentacles. Pentacles are value, can actually be money or worth. This person is chained to their value. It looks like these are what used to be our allies, and they're trying to hold. And the 4 of Pentacles is symbolic of holding on to your value as well as you can. And that's what this person is doing. They've chained their value to them. They're reaching out and maybe spending it where it's necessary, hopefully with some divine guidance. So, yeah, they're moving on. The Knight of Wands. The other countries as opposed to us. The Knight of Wands. Wands are actions, plans, forward movement. The Knight is the representative of the royal court who's going to fight for those things. And so, yeah, they're on their alert. The King of Pentacles. Again, Pentacles is value. Look at this. So they are full on eliminating the United States from the equation as far as help in their causes, and thinking of the United States in the equation in quite a different way. But with the forethought of a king. Oh, I drew a 5th card, so there must be something in here that we need to know. And then the final card here for the original 4 I intended to draw is the Moon card, which speaks about secrets being revealed. So everything is going to be out in the open. And then the final card on how the Eurozone, Ukraine feels about the United States and how they're dealing with it personally. And this is a Knight of Cups. You know what this is? This is Ukraine. This is Ukraine. You can see that this knight is riding on like a seahorse over an ocean of emotion, holding out a cup. Is he holding out a cup as an offering, as a salute, or looking for a little bit more to fill that cup? But it's Ukraine, because they're doing all of those things. They're riding on a wave of emotion. They're holding up their cup in victory, and also encouraging people to drop a little something in there. Yeah. It's full speed ahead for the rest of the world without the United States. The anti-immigration stance that this government has taken, I mean, just to blatantly stop programs and law and progress that was mandated, that they're, look at this, they can't even get it together on immigration. So anti-immigration, is this who the United States is now? Is this who, this anti-immigration fever, is this really who the United, are there more people who are just really thrilled about this than are not? And the true story of the anti-immigration hasn't really gotten out. People have just started to understand that it's their friends who are being ripped out of their job. So you don't have a legal permit to work here anymore. We've canceled it. So you need to leave. And they built their whole lives here. Maybe their children only know this. Maybe you think that's fine. You shouldn't have become so attached. So we'll see this anti-immigration. 3 cards for this anti-immigration. Let's see. You know, I'm going to take them all together and look 4. I sure am. Those cards spoke to me. So the first card up in this is the 9 of Cups. The 9 of Cups. The 9 of Cups is typically showing off all of your emotional value, your emotional savings, your emotional worth. But this person is very, unhappy, not excited about their emotional value, but it's all spread out all around and in front of them. Interesting. So anti-immigration, all of these various issues, emotional issues that should be a celebration are not. They're a worry. The next card, Temperance, finding a balance, is going to be a feat of magic. Then we have the Magician. This is excellent because the Magician card, this is the one card in the pack that has everything at his disposal or her disposal to make happen whatever they want to have happen. It's only the experience and the finesse of the Magician that determines how far they can go. But they have everything they need. And so in anti-immigration, it looks like because all my readings talk about a happy ending. We've got what we need to get there. And the final one here is, what is this? This is like a Cups. Is this the Ace of Cups? It is. This is an Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups would typically be something that is very fantastic. But in this case, this person has everything they need right in front of them. They have faith. They have money. They have passion. They have sustenance. But they haven't, maybe they're praying for that, or maybe they haven't fully realized everything they have. So interesting. And that's what the people immigrating are looking for. So just hang on. It's all there, right there on the table. You'll be able to reach it, I think. Marco Rubio. Yeah, so that's the weirdest thing. I just read something recently that I thought it was his father who entered this country on some very shaky legal ground and was probably told, I think was told to leave. And it was his father, it was his grandfather, but it was, I'm not, so you could Google it. And then, but because of that suffering, that's why Marco is here. And he just doesn't seem to have, unless, the only thing I can think of is like what happened in Spain. Eventually, when Franco passed away, the previous king's son, so I want to do on Marco only 3 cards. The previous king's son brought the country back to Marco Rubio. The first card up, King of Swords. And Swords is really holding the whole bag. I mean, he's got some value here. He's got a crystal ball, and he's got the swords. Marco Rubio, King of Swords. And swords is truth, justice, rules, and law. Very surprised to see this come up from Marco. The next card up is the 9 of Cups. Okay, so this is, again, kind of a meaningless, where someone wants to celebrate all their emotional value, but it's empty for them in this deck. And then Judgment. Ho ho. So Judgment will be the final call for Marco Rubio. That's interesting. I think that's all I got. Hey, I'm going to show you the cards now. Hang on a minute. So this deck is the Templar Tarot, The Journey. It's a very interesting deck. This little sleeve actually looks like a book with the pages here. And the way it works is that sleeve just slides off. I've had this deck for a number of years, by the way. slides off. On the back here, it talks about, so it says a little bit here, the TemplarTarot.com, with the light emanating from the imitated and the awake. And so it's just an interesting little, I don't know, scenario that it talks about here. The book is very good. And when I bought this, what was included with this were these postcards and little pieces of art that you could frame, I suppose. These are depicted from various cards in the deck. Okay, this is the Knight of, or the Knight of the King of Cups. Yeah, so you'll see these in the various decks inside the cards, and there you can mail them off and use them as postcards. Hangman. So, and then this really just like a piece of art, a note card, I guess is what it actually is. So I got quite, I don't remember how much I paid for this so many years ago, but when you look at it, this is by Alan Chester and Stephen Defoe. When you look at the book, it looks like kind of antique pages. They're made to look that way, but it gives a very good, clear divination of all of the cards. It's not a full color text, but it certainly is very interesting. And then it tells you in the beginning, you get an artist's statement as to how this project began back in 1999. So it's a thoughtful deck, if nothing else. The next thing about this deck is that it has more than the average number of cards. Now I forgot, what I don't like about it is that you have to dump things out of it to get the cards out. So that's the one fault I have with this set. So the typical cards are right here. So these are the 78 cards that make the standard tarot deck with the major arcana included. The kind of biggish cards, they kind of do, I won't say stick together, but they tend to have a kind of electric static grip on each other. So some might find them difficult to maneuver with. They shuffle nicely. Because of the size of them, it's a little hard to do this kind of a shuffle. I forget the name of it now. But the extras, so these are the standard cards that you see in any tarot deck. These extra cards, I've forgotten what they called them, but I think it's 21 or so cards. That this one is the Jinn, Jinn, and it has a specific meaning that's mentioned in this book. Jihad, okay, ascension. So all in interrogation with a numeric value that is assigned to the card also. So they're just kind of divination cards, and I suppose can be very useful. I've never really used them. I just use them. This is a tarot deck, and so that's why I keep these kind of a different position inside the cards. But the actual deck itself, the cards are really, really beautiful. They go from one edge to the other. They're all full pieces of art. They're very descriptive. I don't find them very hard to use. Some of the divinations, because of how they're depicted, you know, there might be a happy divination usually, but the depiction may look a little sad. So it gives you a lot to work with, these cards. And I just spread them out like this because when I was just a viewer and I was watching tarot readings, I wanted to know more about the decks that the tarot reader was using. And when I started to be a tarot reader, I decided, you know what, I'm going to show the cards that I'm using. And I do. So there you go. I don't get paid for this. I like to show the cards. So this is the Templar Tarot, The Journey. And I like them a lot, actually.